the tears that have been flowing in the last 24 hours has been absolutely hilarious. Here's Dan Bongino on Fox News. He is just beside himself, the former Secret Service agent turned crazed nut right-winger. Listen to Dan.
Hijack your show, but listen, you may have just handed Donald Trump the indictment. With the indictment along with probably the greatest Freudian slip ever. You handed him an indictment while handing him the nomination. At the same time, you may have just, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get out ahead of my skis. There's a lot of time here. But I can tell you everything he has said to people about they're not coming for you. They're coming for me because I'm in the way. Now you look at this tonight and you're like, yeah, that kind of sounds right to me. You're going to.
Oh, Lord. Y'all want to see a good one? How about this here? Poor little Lindsey Graham. Oh, my goodness, from South Carolina. He was just, I don't know whether it was allergies that was causing him to tear up, but go to my iPad for this one, y'all. This one is really funny.
Calls a unreliable dirtbag. So what's behind all this? Hatred. They tried to destroy Kavanaugh because they wanted to keep the Supreme Court seat open. They're trying to destroy Donald Trump because they fear him at the ballot box. To the conservatives out there, make sure you vote. If you got friends, make sure they vote. If you don't have any friends, go make some friends. But you need to help this man, Donald J. Trump. They're trying to drain him dry. He spent more money on lawyers than most people spend on campaigns. They're trying to bleed him dry. DonaldJTrump.com. Go tonight. Give the president some money to fight this bullshit. This is going to destroy America. We're going to fight back at the ballot box. We're not going to give in. How does this end, Sean? Trump wins in court, and he wins the election. That's how this ends.
Y'all, that was Lindsey Graham. Y'all want to see really stupid? Here is Jason Whitlock. Let me be real clear. Jason Whitlock doesn't know shit about politics, okay? He used to cover sports. Didn't do that well. Now, all of a sudden, he's a political, social, cultural commentator. He works for the racist Glenn Beck's The Blaze. That's all I need to say about this Steven from Django.
And then by the time I get home, I find out Donald Trump has been indicted, and I hear you loud and clear. They are agitating for unrest. That's the only way to interpret this. They are agitating for unrest, and there is a godless element in this country that doesn't care about fairness. They don't care about the will of the people. They care about power and control. As you have spelled out this week, they think they're God, and they don't think they can make up the rules. They can decide what fairness.
Come back to me. That boy's so stupid. But I got to find the one, y'all, where he was. So check this one here out. This is Whitlock fighting back tears. Again, this is what we call astute political analysis, courtesy of Tucker Carlson and Fox News.
Point. Tucker, I don't say this with pride. I really don't. I'm just being factual. I've never voted. And so I'm not saying that with pride. I'm hardcore MAGA tonight. I will be voting. I am hardcore MAGA. I've never voted. I did, I observed Trump. I'm somewhat supportive of Trump, but they have made me MAGA. And they have made me ready for whatever is next, because what they are building for young people, I can't sit by and just.
Oh my Lord, we done made him MAGA. Boy, Alvin Bragg, you are one hell of a vote getter. By indicting Trump, you done made Jason Whitlock go vote. That's the best you can do, Tucker? That's who you could call on a huge story like this here? Dumbass Jason Whitlock? Craig Harrington is the research director for Media Matters for America, joins us right now. Craig, I'm telling you that I wanted to sit here and play. Who sang the song Tears for Fears? That should be the theme song on Fox News, because, boy, they are just beside themselves with this one. I thought this was the Law and Order Network.
Yeah, we have a joke at Media Matters regarding how Trump will often tell the sir stories where someone comes up to him with tears in their eyes and they say, "Mr. Trump, sir, something, something," babbling. But last night on Fox, several of their hosts and commentators quite literally were struggling to fight back tears. And on at least one occasion, a guest actually admitted that they had cried earlier in the day. Dealing with the news of Donald Trump's 5:30 p.m. Reported indictment. It was legitimately very funny to watch the network collapse really in real time.
Well, and they're just going crazy now. I mean, listen to nutcase Laura Ingraham, okay, now trying to equate a DA indicting Trump with election interference.
Self-proclaimed defenders of democracy, they've been proven themselves beyond any reasonable doubt to be total frauds. In fact, they've proven themselves to be the ultimate election meddlers, pursuing a specious criminal case against former President Trump for one reason and one reason only, because they're worried that he might win again. Now, when Biden claimed that he was...
Craig, didn't he lose last time?
Yeah, he lost last time without the publicity drag of being publicly indicted. There are lots of people in the right who are claiming, and lots of mainstream journalists who are also claiming, that the indictment is likely going to help Trump in the nomination fight in the Republican Party. But there was good polling from Quinnipiac just, I think, 2 days ago that said that the majority of the public did not want to vote for a president who was facing indictment. And anyone who watched the Hillary Clinton saga in 2016 knows that just the word indictment being attached to Hillary Clinton, who has never been indicted and never faced any criminal charges for any of the investigations that she spent 40 years fighting off from Republicans, just being associated with an FBI investigation, not even an actual indictment, was enough to turn off a significant chunk of the population and cost her the 2016 election and swing it toward Trump. There's no reasonable person who thinks that this is going to help Trump in the general election. It's plausible it could help him with the Republican base that he was already beginning to coalesce. But the idea that this is somehow election interference is really absurd when you think about it. It would be interference to not indict a criminal who committed crimes in public and admitted to doing them. He's quite literally a co-conspirator in a felony case that one of the co-conspirators has already gone to jail for and paid over $1 million in restitution and fines. If Donald Trump weren't indicted for being the man funding and organizing the conspiracy that sent Michael Cohen to federal prison, if he weren't indicted, that might be tantamount to election interference. But facing consequences for your criminal behavior, that's just what all of us have to deal with. This could be a speeding ticket, or it could be a Class A felony. He should face the same law and jurisprudence that everyone else does.
I'm just getting a kick out of the people who yell, "Lock up protesters," and throw the key away. Now all of a sudden want to be soft on the crime. Then again, they did defend the people on January 6th. So this is on brand for Fox News, Greg.
Yeah, and this is something Media Matters has been tracking now for several years. Fox News has tried so hard to disassociate itself from the violence of January 6th and to excuse the violent behavior of the individuals who took part in that riot, which became an insurrection. But the fact of the matter is, they now are trying to sort of rebuild some of that and agitate some of that network, the January 6th energy that saw 50,000 people besiege the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. The right-wing echo chamber, the Fox Newses of the world, the conservative talk radio, the podcasters and the YouTubers, they're now trying to find a way to access that network and bring some of that energy to bear so that they can, say, surround the Manhattan District Courthouse on Tuesday when Trump is brought to Manhattan to be arraigned, fingerprinted, photographed, and we'll all get what will become maybe the most famous mugshot in American history. But the right is having trouble sort of coalescing the energy that it brought to bear on January 6, 2021, because they've spent so long trying to blame other people for what happened on January 6th other than themselves. So many right-wingers are convinced that when their friends are reaching out to them and asking them, will you join me in this pro-Trump protest? so many of them are worried that that person is actually now working for the FBI and is potentially a plant trying to draw them into some sort of entrapment situation. That there's no evidence that that is that was the motivation for what actually happened on January 6th. But Fox has spent so much time, and the right has spent so much time lying about what those events were, that they've really undermined their own ability to organize their political muscle in the streets, which may be to the rest of our benefit as a society that's trying to exist with this violent sort of element that is present in the Republican Party. But for them, it's a real problem, because after 3 years of misinformation and sitting on the fence and trying to play both sides of the January 6th insurrection, now Fox and the others in the right-wing media echo chamber, they need those people like out in the streets, and they really do want to find a way to defend their hero, Donald Trump. And they're having trouble doing it because of the lies that they've told over the past several years about their previous the way that their previous protest erupted into violence so publicly during the transition period. All
right, Craig Harrington, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your time.
This is absolute comedy hour, Kelly. I just sit here. I mean, I'm getting great joy out of watching them lose their minds.
I mean, the fact of the matter is they are going to lose their minds regardless, because Trump, for the most part, is their God. This is their deity, and they really do worship him on the right. And it's sad, because at the end of the day, not only do we not know what the indictment is for yet, he's not a president anymore. He's a private citizen, and private citizens can go to jail. Private citizens can get arrested. Private citizens have to follow the law, period. This is not a situation in which he is a sitting president where, constitutionally you can't be, I can't remember the exact verbiage, but basically you can't be convicted while you are a sitting president. But he's not a sitting president anymore. He's basically relegated back to celebrity status, which means that you are a private citizen. So they can go after him for whatever, and it is completely fine. It is completely legit.
Right.
And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Michael, it's just, again, if you want to see hypocrites, just watch all of these people, because every time we turn around, they're yelling law and order. They're like doing right, follow the law, respect district attorneys, respect law enforcement, except when we don't like them.
Well, they also say comply. If you had just complied, everything would have been all right. They always say comply. Now, what's going to happen, Roland, and I've seen some of the senators commenting as well. I saw Lindsey Graham on Fox News begging last night for Fox News supporters to donate to the legal fund of a billionaire. Why does a billionaire need other people to pay his legal bill?
Because his ad's not a billionaire?
Exactly. But this was going to happen, Roland. I'm waiting for one of these Republicans to get hemmed up, and the reporter's going to ask them, wait a second, if everything was the same, but the difference was it was Barack Obama instead of Donald Trump, you mean to tell me if they were indicted for document frauds, over 30 counts of document frauds, if they were indicted on the same thing, you would be here defending that as well? Because that's what's eventually going to happen. If this was reversed, and it was Barack Obama instead of Donald Trump, Republicans would be against they would be calling for the indictment of President Barack Obama. Remember, they damn near wanted to impeach him for wearing a tan suit during Easter. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is the chickens coming home to roost. I'm here for this.
First of all, Tuesday, if he surrenders on Tuesday, Xavier, these people are about to lose it. But also, I can't wait till they actually unseal the indictment, so we can actually see if it's 34 counts. And it's gonna be a lot of folk with egg on their face if this thing is bigger than Stormy Daniels.
It will be, but I think that the die is cast in the cult of Donald Trump. Whoever's going to support Donald Trump will continue to support him. They will find ways to cover that up. But what I haven't heard talked about in this whole piece about what's talking about Van Jones, which case should be brought first, this particular prosecution and all the others show a course of conduct. Donald Trump was willing to violate finance laws, was willing to hush payments to win an election, showed he should have been in that place in the first place, and then goes along and then attends to what happened in Georgia in terms of trying to push to keep himself as president, and then eventually the insurrection that he potentially fomented. And so this course of conduct, so to say that this is a small thing when all the actions he's taken has shown, this is why you hold individuals like Donald Trump accountable, because they do become worse. They do show their true character. Like Jay-Z said, you was who you was before you got here. And Donald Trump showed he was who he was before he became president of the United States of America. And so we're going to just see more of this come along. And of course they're going to be upset. This is their God. They worship at his feet. This is the whole replacement theory politics they continue to press forward, and they need to be able to show so they can be able to continue to pour into the MAGA. But on Tuesday, Roland, are you going to pour out the black yak and have that on deck?
Oh, trust me, the black yak will be made available come Tuesday. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.